And the damage just about right across the board, although utilities not down as much. Let me show you the S&P 500. We just went straight down at the open. This is very similar to what happened in Europe. And this is pretty broad weakness that we've seen, although financials are the weakest group. You see we're off the lows here, and as Europe closed around 11:30, the selling did abate a little bit here. In the middle of the day, take a look. Let's call it euro weakness spilling into the U.S. 5-1 declining to advancing. It was a little worse earlier in the day. Almost 400 new lows. That's an elevated number for the NYSE. Volatility is only modestly elevated. That's very interesting. The VIX not that high at 26. You think it'd be higher. If you take a look at new lows, I want to point out the big money center banks, all of them, Bank of America, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, all at new lows, Citigroup as well. All the big money center banks put those up, sitting at 52-week lows, including some of the regionals like Fifth Third, as well as State Street. Wild day in some of the energy names, particularly Chesapeake Energy, opened at $2.55, went to $1.50, was halted several times. One point, the company halted the stock for news pending, came out and said they were not considering bankruptcy. It was halted several times on the way up. It was halted a few moments ago. I think it has reopened since then. Yes, it has just reopened. But these stocks get halted at 5% trading bands, and obviously the volatility in a $2 stock is very high today, so that's been halted several times. I want to note the consumer names have been unusually weak as well. You can't say this is just an energy story in the last few days. I've put up names like Nike. Nike was $62 on Wednesday, and you can talk about exposure to China, but it's down 12% in 3 or 4 days. That's pretty noticeable. And Starbucks and Under Armour are also weak on Friday and are weak again today. Bear markets, people have been asking about it. And yes, we've got some. The Russell 2000's 25% off. These are 52-week highs, but these are really historic highs. Transport's 25% off. And if you look at the energy sector, 31%. Banks, that's the KBE, the bank ETF, is down 25%. And materials in the S&P 500, 23% to the downside. And I want to note here, the VIX at 26 right now here. That's very interesting. You would think the VIX would be a lot higher given the volatility of the last few days. I think part of the problem is there's a lot of other options out there, a lot of other ways to play options, including weekly and monthly options. And what you were looking at is a quarterly options, the S&P 500 quarterly. And I think there is simply less action in that. And I'm wondering if whether or not the VIX truly represents the volatility right now. I think we might need a broader index than the VIX to see exactly what's going on in options land.